Hi, my name is Sarah and I have a complicated relationship with my hair. I think it was actually at a very young age, probably around the time I became a teenager. That was when I started to notice, like pop culture, celebrities, what beauty is supposed to look like. I started watching like Korean pop stars, Hyori Lee. I think everyone aspired to be like her. I mean, she could sing, she could dance, and she was beautiful. And another person, actress Song Hye-kyo, she was so like classically beautiful that I felt like she was like the gold standard. And I looked at all of their hair and it was all like straight, silky, long and black and so thick. And then I realized that my hair was not like that. I actually had very contrastingly thin hair. Even when I was younger, my hair was actually thin compared to all my other friends. And the fact that it was naturally wavy as opposed to like silky straight, that signified to me that, hey, maybe something is like wrong with my hair. And so I think that was when I first started being conscious of it. So I remember starting in high school, I started to straighten my hair every single morning. I straightened it every single day up until after I graduated college. And this was like, to me, it was something that I just had to do. I could not get out of the house without having straightened it. And I'd straightened it for so long that it actually started to grow straight, which was pretty crazy to me, but I didn't realize it until much later. But yeah, that's how I coped with it. And it worked well for me at the time. And it didn't occur to me that, I was doing something to change who I was, essentially, to fit in with, what I thought or what everyone else thought was beautiful. I first experienced hair loss when I was 13 years old. And I didn't know, of course, that it was a medical condition at the time and that it was a genetic thing. It was quite a shock to me because I was the only one going through it. I didn't see any of my friends losing their hair. Nobody talked about their hair like that. It was just a very isolating experience. Pretty much the only people I could tell about my condition to were my parents. And of course, because they cared for me, they told me that hair isn't everything. You need to go out and live your life. Have a happy childhood. It just became a part of my life. So I graduated college and then I started working. And then about 10 years later, I decided to go off of birth control. I had been on it for like 10 years. And I didn't know this at the time, but getting on birth control actually had halted the hair loss. When I got off of it, in 6 months, I started to see a ton of shedding, and that's when I was faced with this hair loss situation again. I felt like I was going through the exact same thing as I did when I was 13. It was still just as much of a shock. I was very frantic. Like I knew that it was a race against time. I was lucky to have the means to try out different things. So I went through the whole medical route. I went to go see a dermatologist. I started taking supplements. I tried as many as I could, but unfortunately, I didn't see the results that I was expecting, and they did cost a lot of money, and it's something that you would have to keep up with from time to time. And so I just thought, you know what, this isn't maintainable. It's not sustainable for the rest of my life. I think from there on, the process of acceptance started to like settle in. Actually, like I never thought that I would accept my bio hair the way it is. So exploring the world of toppers and wigs, it made me feel like so differently about my own hair. You love your own hair because it's a part of you, but it just wants to do its own thing. And you have to be okay with that because it's you. It's still my comfort. It's still me. So I'm still thankful to have it and to have it be what it does for me. And I do feel safe with it. Like when I think about it now, it's like I'm not frustrated at it anymore. Oh my gosh, I think it's so ridiculous. I mean, like, I really didn't notice much about society's expectations on what hair should look like and feel like and be like all the time until just recently when I was looking through websites for toppers and wigs. You know, as you look through all of those websites, you realize like you're looking at hair that just looks 100% perfect in every single way. And that's why like it felt so off whenever I tried on my first wig or topper. It was just too perfect. So yeah, I feel like, you know, everything that we see in the media, the expectations are just ridiculous. Like everyone's hair is so different, so unique, and it doesn't have to fit what everyone else expects it to be. It should just be like what you want it to be, not what other people want it to be. But it is hard to ignore that or to recognize that a lot of the pressure comes from the outside world. Hair loss is a very manageable lifestyle. I remember thinking like in the beginning, there's no solution to this. There's no solution that will like look as realistic for the rest of my life. But I was so wrong. You will be very, very surprised at like how resilient you are in the process. Yes, it will be frustrating, but it's so worth it to go through that because you learn so much about yourself. And I feel like having hair loss is a very like transformative process. As you shed your own hair, I feel like you shed a lot of the things that you thought were important in your life. It kind of makes you like take a step back and you realize, well, so my hair, yes, it is a big part of who I am. But that's just like one of the many things that make me who I am. You will definitely have a bigger perspective on life. You will start to be kinder to yourself, and that will start the process of loving who you are. Also, join the hair loss community on Instagram because there's so many women who are just there to help and they know exactly what you're going through. I feel that it's so important to create that support system around you in the very, very beginning.